was the last time you took a leap of faith, trusting that everything is going to work out? Do you crave growth, or are you merely content with the status quo? If you want more out of your life, out of your career, and out of your relationships, you are in the right place. Take the leap and discover how to create a life by design rather than living it by default. Real success starts with you. Now here's your host, Colleen Biggs.
All right. Hello, listeners, and welcome back to another episode of Take the Leap. I am your host, Colleen Biggs, and I know that you are listening to this on the podcast many weeks after we're recording it, but I have to give a shout out as we go live today on Facebook. And if you're not following me, go over to Colleen Jane Biggs and follow me over there, because you'll see me kicking my way through life and a beautiful portrait of my family on my Facebook. So you'll know it's me, and you can see all of our videos and recordings that we do, and so much about my life and my grandkids and my work and a lot of the areas in which I empower women. And today is International Women's Day, and we are all about empowering women today and empowering ourselves to step outside of fear. We're going to be talking all about how do we step outside of fear. Fear is a thing. You know, a lot of us say false evidence appearing real, but it appears real. And that's what makes fear real for us when we go through it. And today, Nancy Pickard is our guest, and she's going to be walking us through how she has gone through some of this adversity with fear and some huge changes in her life, just like you and I, that have led her on this path that she has today of coaching with individuals to embrace their courage and transform their life. But before we get to Nancy, I really do want to thank today's sponsor of our show. Without them, this would not be possible. BizBolster Web Solutions. Imagine if you increase the visits to your website to have a consistent flow of new business. BizBolster Web Solutions designs websites and sets up tools that not only attract new prospects, but also starts building the know, like, and trust factor for those prospects when they land on your website. Through exceptional websites and targeted SEO, our clients are not only found online, but are also able to convey their area of expertise as well as the what's in it for me to their prospects. Imagine if it was that easy for you to increase sales for your business by driving more traffic to your website. Well, it is. Be sure to visit BizBolster Web Solutions at bizbolster.com to download your free SEO guide and schedule your discovery session today. And I have to be the one to say, I work with BizBolster Web Solutions, and they have taken over my SEO in the last several months. And out of the blue, in the last several months, I've just had individuals coming to my web form on my website, which is something that hasn't happened in the past. And they're just saying, hey, Colleen, we need you to speak at this event. Can you be a keynote speaker at this event? Can you be my business coach? So many individuals are just reaching out to me, and my monthly reports that I get show how I'm doing. So I think it's important to look at the analytics of how you're driving traffic to your website, because we all know the number one thing about the Leap community that I run and Take the Leap is about visibility. You have to be seen and be heard and be visible to be successful. So we hope you all take that serious and being seen and being heard, and take advantage of that free SEO guide that you can download and review of your SEO as well. Okay, stepping out of fear. What does that mean for Nancy Pickard, our guest today? She's a certified Master Integrative Life Coach with a myriad of coaching certifications specializing in shadow work, boundaries, healing your heart, bigger, better, braver, parenting, reinvention, and worthy, to name many of them. She's the author of an international best-selling book, Bigger, Better, Braver, Conquer Your Fears, Embrace Your Courage, Transform Your Life. She offers a digital course and an online Zoom coaching course featuring her book. Coaching others to step out of fear and into bigger versions of themselves is her passion. Nancy, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I'm going to have to go look at that BizBowl as soon as I hang up with you.
Yeah. I have to tell you, I'm always skeptical, but I've shared with all my listeners 6 years ago, someone said to me, Google yourself. I'd never heard that before. And I'm like, I've never Googled myself. So I did. I Googled myself and my LinkedIn came up because they have like mad algorithms, like LinkedIn's the best, and like my Facebook and one YouTube video that I did for something. I don't know. And then now when you look me up on Google, I don't know who any of the other Colleen Biggs were, but I'm 6 pages of Google. And the way I got that done was showing up on other people's magazines and other people's podcasts and on other people's stages, plus doing my own thing as well. So that combination is what helped me get the visibility that I have. And it's why I created the Leap community. It's why we work on visibility. And it's why I work on visibility with my clients, because to me, it's the number one rule in business. So Nancy, I'm telling you, visibility is the key. It just makes it so much easier for you to do what you love and not have to keep chasing people, right? We attract people. So how do we attract? Like you talked about, the universe wanted you to learn a lot of lessons. So obviously you believe in the universe, you believe in manifestation. How do we attract the life that we love? I would love to hear how you have gone through, since your divorce and some of the things you've had to overcome. How has that belief and that manifestation and the work that you've done on yourself transformed your life?
Well, it has transformed my life. I would say that what I've cultivated over the years was a belief that the universe has my back and that everything happens for a reason and everything happens as it should. And if you actually can believe that, you can relax. You can stop being the general manager of the universe and let the universe do its thing. Mm-hmm. So it helps with me as a partner, as a mother, as a grandmother, in my business. Instead of worrying and spending my time worrying about what might happen, I can relax into that whatever happens is supposed to happen. If I fall on my face, I'm supposed to fall on my face. I'm falling forward. And so I'm trying new things, and then I can use it as a stepping stone towards my next success. But you have to be willing to step in and chance failure if you ever want to have the life that you want to manifest. So I believe in manifestation. I have this little thing that I do with my clients that I put 1111 alarm, because 1111 is like the spiritual number. It stands for infinity.
Yeah, I hear it's when the portals open at its most.
Yeah. So every day at 11:11, my alarm goes off. Hopefully I'm not like on a pickleball court or skiing down the mountain, but whatever I do at that moment, I try to stop, give myself a second, and not just manifest one thing, but feel it like I already am doing it. I have it. And then what the feeling is, and then being grateful that I already have it. So for example, you want more financial independence. Just close your eyes and picture money just falling all over you. Dollar bills, $100 bills are just falling all over you. And then you feel the feeling. So you're putting together the goal that you have, the vision that you have with the feelings, like you already have it. And then you add the gratitude, and then you're done. The whole thing is less than a minute.
There's no way that you work with your clients on doing this unless you've applied it to your life and you've seen it work, because I'm exactly the same. Exactly. And when I, many, many years ago, back in corporate America, I didn't think about any of that. It wasn't a conversation I had. I really wasn't around people. When I started going on my self-development journey, that's when it all hit. And then I realized we do create our own lives. Like our thoughts are things. And I think that the feeling part, the belief part, like you talked about, because I work with women on financial freedom, because that changes a lot of things for a woman. If she doesn't have to depend on a man for money, that could assist her in getting out of an abusive relationship, or maybe get divorced if it's warranted, right? Let's say that. And she can stand on her own. I love that you said that, because now that she has the opportunity to stand on her own, I feel like when you envision that, right, Nancy, when you envision what that looks like for that person, we can envision it all day long. And this is what my house looks like that I've bought, that I own myself. And this is what it looks like when I have my kids and I'm taking them to school and I have ample time in the morning. And then maybe I work from home, or I drive into the office and I stop at this coffee shop every day, right? You go through the day as if that is your life. But I think so many people are good at visualizing maybe, but they don't believe it. And the belief part is what holds them back. That's the piece. So how do you think to be bigger and better and braver and more courageous and have that belief? What is the key to that?
The key is tiny little steps, one at a time, so that you use that muscle of stepping outside your comfort zone and proving to yourself that you can stay in integrity with what you tell yourself you're going to do. So part of my self-love and my self-worth comes from the fact that I know I stay in integrity with what I say I'm going to do. Yeah. And so if I am 100% responsible for the life I'm leading, that's good news for me, because I already know that I can be 100% responsible to myself. I can stay in alignment and in integrity with my goals and visions. And so I don't need anything other than the trust and love in myself to make things happen. And then again, if you fail and you try something, which we all do, you could put on a 5-day challenge and you think you're going to get everyone into your new course and blah, blah, blah. And it doesn't work out the way you want. You can feel bad for the moment. All right, well, that didn't work out. Okay, so what are the lessons here? What do I need to do differently? How can I do this differently? What worked? What didn't work? That's all part of getting back to the drawing board and reconstructing what you're going to do next time. So next time you'll be more successful. It's not like a failure. It's a learning. And most people who don't do these things, they think other people are braver. Other people have more luck. And really what's underneath all of this are shadow beliefs, are the beliefs from our childhood. I'm unworthy. I'm not good enough. This isn't my time. I need to take care of other people's needs. Love in life means taking care of others. I need to be perfect to be loved. I need to be quiet to be safe. Any of those beliefs that we're not even aware of, they rule our operating system and they keep us playing small. Mm-hmm. As children, they kept us safe, but as adults, they keep us stuck.
Yeah, it's how our bodies are wired and our brains are to keep us safe, for sure. Right. Yeah. So that when we talk about stepping out of fear, that's about trusting without expectation. Like you said, if you have no expectation, which, by the way, equals control. So if you're trying to control the situation, you're really not allowing God or the universe to do its work for you, because you have an expectation of what that needs to look like. So if you manifest, $1, with 3 sevens on it, I think was what my client was working on the other day. If you're manifesting, right, you have an expectation of how that dollar is going to show up to you. It's not going to show up in the way that you expect it. And I believe that we do need to trust that as it unfolds, that maybe you didn't enroll those 5 people into your course because that wasn't the right time or right for those 5 people. And it needed to be a different time, but we need to trust that that plan is going to work out. How many times did something not work out? And then all of a sudden, 2 weeks later, something else came along. And if you had been doing that other thing that you thought you needed to be doing, this other opportunity wouldn't have been possible.
Of course. I tell people, even in my book, that the juice is in the journey. It's not in the end game. And so even with my children, not my grown children, but my grandchildren and my parenting clients that I work with, I try to tell them, don't congratulate your children for winning. Congratulate them for trying. Oh, what did you do today that you were afraid to do, but did it anyway? That's what you want to start to get them to see, that it's in the trying, so that they develop a growth mindset instead of a fixed mindset where they're only going to try the things they know they're going to do well. So that's part of getting outside of your fear, is being willing to suck at something. It's okay. It's okay to not be good at something. The more things you can try, the more ideas you can try, the more times you step outside your comfort zone, the more of a growth mindset you're going to have, and the more you're going to succeed and get towards where you want to go. But don't worry about the end game. Enjoy the whole ride. The lessons are along the way. And if you don't pay attention, you're not going to learn them. And then you're going to fall and fail, but you're not going to have learned anything about it.
Yeah.
You're going to lick your wounds and go back in your cave, which is not what we want you to do. So I want you to use fear as a driving force for change. Anything I'm afraid to do. I mean, I'm not talking about walking down an alley at 2:00 in the morning, but any challenge that comes up. Oh, would you like to write this course? Could you be a speaker here? Whatever it is, I know I need to do it. If I can't, I must. If I'm afraid, that is the universe telling me growth is on the other side. Anything you don't think you are, you will be when you step in. That's it.
Absolutely. So a lot of listeners are probably thinking, oh yeah, okay, Nancy, it's easy for you to say that. And we've heard Colleen talk about that before. But I would love for you to go back and explain to everyone, where were you when you hit rock bottom? What were you feeling? And what was it like? Because this is the result of a lot of work you've done on yourself, right? This is the result of you spending the time to want a different life and working through that. This isn't a snap your fingers and things change overnight. Do you remember what you were feeling or what life was like when you felt like you were at rock bottom? What was that for you?
I do know. I had been married 26 years, loved my husband, loved my life, loved my marriage, and it fell apart on a dime from him. And that was my rock bottom. I had built this beautiful family. I had a whole future. We had a great life. And I was not prepared. And I did not have the tools. Certainly, didn't have the tools I have today, which is how I'm so good at helping other women get off the floor and lick their wounds and figure out, all right, what are my next steps? Who do I want to be? The major issue for me was that I was other referenced. I saw myself through the eyes of my husband. So as long as he thought I was worthy, I thought I was worthy. And that's a problem with so many women. We are other referenced. We put our self-worth on how people receive us. If I am a good person and I'm a people pleaser and I twist myself up in a pretzel to be digestible to others, then I'm worthy because I can see myself through their eyes. So that was the biggest learning curve for me. And it took me many, many years to get to where I am worthy just because I'm on this earth. And I'm not worthy because of who thinks I'm great. I'm not worthy because I have a big house or a nice car. I'm not worthy because I'm a great athlete or I climbed Kilimanjaro, which I did. All of these things. I'm not worthy for any other reason, but because I'm on this earth and I know I'm worthy. And that changed everything for me. That's the problem, is that we build our worth on things and other people instead of on ourselves. So my advice to everybody is to become self-referenced. Know you're worthy just because you're here, and then stay in integrity with the things you say you're going to do so that you yourself have more self-trust and more confidence. Mm-hmm. That's the big thing for me. Yeah. I mean, and my shadow belief from when I was a child, I had put myself on fire when I was 5 years old, and my belief that I am not safe alone. I never knew I had that belief, but that belief ruled my operating system. Mm-hmm. So I always needed a man, and I always needed a lot of friends, because deep down, my wounded child didn't think she was safe on her own. Well, when I uncovered that, when I was like 50 years old, I uncovered that belief, and it changed everything for me. Like, oh my God, of course, I see myself now as my wise adult self. Of course, I'm safe alone. I can do anything. I'm financially secure. I'm healthy. I have a whole life. I have children. I have grandchildren. Like, of course. But until I uncovered that belief, I was stuck in it. It held me back.
Because it was your belief in the moment, right?
And the moment I uncovered it, that's when I went by myself to Africa and climbed Kilimanjaro. And I did all of these things because now I finally had that belief off my back, and it's like freedom.
Freedom. Yeah. to know that thoughts are things like we talked about, to know that your worth is based on who you are and not what other people think about you, right? I think that's probably one of the areas where social media has kind of a negative connotation. There's so much about social media that is positive. There's so much out there, and we can have access to so many individuals that can assist us, that can solve problems for us, anywhere from I need a birthday cake for a birthday coming up for my grandchild to I need to plan a vacation to, I would love to try that course because I want to learn how to be better at, whatever. Negotiation skills. I don't know. One of my clients was talking about that yesterday. So I'm bringing that up because social media has a very positive side to it of being able to connect with people millions, just miles away, thousands of miles away, and connecting with them there. But there's this negative side of social media, which is how many likes I get. It's all vanity. Right? I call them vanity likes, how many followers I have. Mm-hmm. And we are putting our worth on that number. And for me, it came from when I left corporate America. I'm paid for a job. The job description says what I'm worth based on my salary.
Right.
And your worth based on what your job description is and what your salary is as a leader in corporate America. Right. And as you climb that corporate ladder, your responsibilities expand and you're paid more money. And then that's your worth. So as you climb the corporate ladder, you become more worthy.
Right.
Until you leave, like I did.
Right.
And then I said, well, what's my worth? And that was my rock bottom. And I remember it like it was yesterday. And I think our listeners could probably think there's a moment in your life, could be right now, and you're hearing this right now because you needed to hear that, where you hit rock bottom. The beautiful part is, I think, there's nowhere to go but up because you're already at the bottom, right? There's nowhere to go but up. And so that is a really refreshing perspective to know, like, okay, this is as bad as it gets. So now what do I want to do? Now, what are my beliefs? Now, what is my worth? Now, what does my life look like on my terms? How do I want to design that? And you talk about living your best life. I talk about designing your life the way that you want your life to be designed, because life is going to happen regardless. So it's either going to happen to you or for you. Choose. And life now is happening for you, right, Nancy?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. But I bet that there was a time in your life where you thought life was happening to you. And that was during your divorce.
Of course. And yes,
times.
I mean, and I've had we've all had things. I've had cancer. I've lost babies. We've all had a lot of things. I think it just makes us who we are today. It's part of our drama and our pain and our survival. It's not like how often you fall. It's how quickly you get back up. And you move on and you brush yourself off and you get your lessons and you move on. And I think that there's a lot, what you were just saying about acceptance and surrender. So if you're a person who's listening right now and you are at rock bottom, instead of resisting it, you accept it. Okay, this is where I am. Now what do I do? I am here. I get it. Stop wishing life was different. This is where I am, and what's my next step? That's all you have to worry about. It's like running a marathon. Don't worry about the 26 miles. Worry about the first mile. What's my first step?
This is why I spend my entire life empowering women to build financially freedom businesses that provide financial freedom, and that they're proud of themselves and that they're proud of what they built. Exactly what you said in the last 2 minutes that you just brushed right over. I mean, come on, everyone. I've lost babies. I've had cancer. We've all been through hard stuff.
Right.
That is a warrior attitude and bravery and courage and all of the things when our listeners were probably like, what did she just say? She just brushed over that. International Women's Day. That's why I love this day. It's why I love this month of March where we celebrate women from history, because it's women like you, Nancy, that just continue to power forward through knowing that there's something greater and knowing that God put you on this earth for a purpose. And now you've moved and leaned into that purpose so that you can provide women exactly why you wrote the book. I don't think that book probably came from your brain as much as it probably came from your experience, your inspiration, your heart. You know, it probably flowed through you because those words needed to be written on paper.
It was someone to read. It was a definite.
Exactly.
The title was definitely a download because I couldn't come up with a title. I tried a zillion titles. I played it out on everyone. Nobody liked the same thing. And they said, stop thinking about the title and just like give it a rest. And all of a sudden at 2:00 in the morning, like a month later, I sat up and I said to my partner, oh my God, bigger, better, braver. Like that was a download. And the fact that everybody liked it immediately, I'm like, well, I know everyone liked it because the universe gave it to me. It wasn't even mine. So yes, you have to be open though. You have to look for what's right instead of what's wrong. You have to go into acceptance instead of surrender, give up resistance, give up the excuses that you've been living in. Try to
give
get
up control.
Excuse-free zone. Give up control, give up the need to know, give up the fear of change, look and see what your sabotaging recipe is so that you can give that up as well. Uncover the disempowering beliefs that are actually keeping you stuck because you can want and want and want, but if you don't uncover those, you won't get it. And so I try to say to my clients, all right, finish this little sentence. And your listeners can do this too. I say I want, but what I'm experiencing is.
I like that.
I say I want to be in a long-term, loving, romantic relationship, but what I'm experiencing is finding something wrong with every guy I date and breaking up with them before they can break up with me. So if you follow that, you're actually more committed to keeping your heart safe, to not getting hurt, which is what you're committed to because you always get the thing you're most committed to. So if you want that partner, you've got to give up the thing the thing that you are committed to. Give up the closed heart, open your heart, take a chance, be willing to fall, go for it. I say I want to lose 10 pounds, but what I'm experiencing is 2 glasses of wine every night. Okay, so what are you more committed to? Self-gratification, soothing a wound. You know, so ask yourself, what do I say I want and what am I experiencing? And the thing that you're experiencing is the thing you're more committed to. So switch that commitment and make it the thing that you say you want.
When you hiked Kilimanjaro, I just want to ask you, was that something for yourself that put you outside of your comfort zone for you to do something you've never done before?
Yeah. So number one, I'm an athlete. Like I owned a personal training gym for 16 years. So part of my self-worth has always been around my athleticism. Again, that's not the best way to have your self-worth because then who are you if you get hurt, right? But so I was turning 60 and I wanted to do something to prove to myself, number one, that 60 was just a number. I could do big things. And also I had uncovered and was working with the shadow belief that I wasn't safe alone. So I put together doing this big activity, flying alone, going to Africa, joining a group without, knowing anybody. That was all part of this. And so really what happened is when I got to the top of the mountain and I trained for 6 months and everything I did this was my goal. So when I got to the top, number one, I was exhausted, obviously, but I had done such a great job and I was so proud of myself that it created the spiritual awakening that I wanted, that I could really say once and for all, girl, you got it going on and you can do anything you put your mind to. And
that was what I was hoping you were going to say, because, I too am an athlete, but that does not mean that what you did wasn't hard, that what you did wasn't something that you felt was going to be difficult and that you needed training for.
Right.
It was the same when I walked into the dojo for the first day. Just because I can run marathons or do CrossFit or, can be a personal trainer, which really wasn't my thing. I loved more working out than being a personal trainer, if you want to ask my opinion on that. But walking in the dojo for the first day was like, hey, I don't know what this looks like or how to get there, but I want to get a black belt and I'm just going to see what that's going to look like. And there were a lot of curves and a lot of mind, barriers I had to break through and physical barriers I had to break through, just like you did, doing that and flying all the way over to Africa and going up there. So I actually want to challenge every female listening to this today, and males. There's a lot of males that listen to this podcast, but all the females out there on Facebook that are watching this video or going back and watching this video, the women that have gotten us to the point we are today never played it safe. Rosa Parks is a great example. Playing it safe would have been going to the back of the bus, sitting down.
Right.
Just saying, they didn't play it safe. If you want change in the world, be it. Right. You can't sit there and not change and say, I am going to have 2 glasses of wine every night, but I want to drop 12 pounds. It won't happen. You have to decide, I want change in my life and I'm willing to do what it takes. Surround myself with the right people that can get me there, like you did, a group of individuals that were all hiking together up the mountain. You surrounded yourself with people to do that. I really believe that someone like you, in working with individuals, when you surround yourself with someone that's a guide, just like the guide was that took you up, just like my master was in the dojo that guided me to my black belt, without those guides, I really feel like there would have been a lot more tumbles, stumbles, falls. Maybe you wouldn't have been able to make it. Meaning, if you flew to Africa on your own, had to find your own transportation to get to the mountain by yourself and do it all by yourself without having any gear, any guides. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it could never
That's
happen.
why individuals like you and I have stepped into these roles, because we've been through it. So God already put us through what we needed to get through so that we could put the ladder down and help other women up the ladder.
Right. And also we're not at the top of the ladder.
No.
So when
someone else has a ladder down that's helping us up.
So number one, because I was a personal trainer and I owned a gym, I've always been like, nobody gets to the Olympics without a coach. So no matter what I'm doing, I hire somebody. I started pickleball a few years ago. I take a zillion lessons. I ski double black diamonds. I still take ski lessons. Like whatever it is, I want the most direct route to success. And so that's always coming from hiring somebody that knows more than you do. That's why coaches are there to support you, keep you in alignment, be your accountability partner, and help you see what you don't see. And I say the same thing with women who want to be in a relationship. Like, you have to become the person you want to attract. I will literally say to my clients who come to me because their biological clock is ticking and they want a man, and everyone around them, it seems, especially with social media, everyone around them has a better life. They've got the passionate job, they've got the husband and the house and the babies, and these girls feel like they're missing. And I'll say to them, you're not ready. Like, you have to become that person that you want to attract. And I tell them that it's like, where's Waldo? The man has left the door, or the woman, or whoever your partner is, they've left the building and they're walking towards you, but they will not show up until you're ready to receive them.
They won't see you until you're ready to be seen. Oh my gosh.
You're that person.
It's so powerful.
The work is yours. It's all inner work. And you have to become that person by uncovering your own beliefs and the things that are keeping you back. You have to become the person you want to attract. And it's all inner work. It all is. And we are always, you and I, being coaches and being physical and being all these things, what happens to me is that when life trips me up, which it does, I have to say, whoa, wait a minute. What would I tell my client? And so I'm always using the exact same tools to help pick me back up. It's not like we don't still fall, ladies.
So true.
But
Every day.
we use the tools.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I get triggered, which I do, I can be the observer. I can say, wow, what am I making that mean about me? How can I look at that differently? What could their purpose be for saying what they said? What could the universe want from me that they're putting this in my, or wow, I still have that wound. That oozing wound is still deep down and that person just hit on it. Boy, I thought I was done, but really it was just another layer of the onion and I have more work to do. So it's always about using yourself as like your personal laboratory.
Yeah. It's so true. And we're all at work, right? We're all at work. And so this is very powerful and so powerful that I don't ever run this long on a podcast. So we've ran really long today. But that's the point. Like my listeners are like, this is amazing, right? They're listening to all of this. And when you're passionate, right? And that's what we are. You are just as passionate, Nancy, as I show up on this podcast, as I show up in my community, as I know you show up for your clients and your customers. So everyone listening is like, she's right. You can't get to the Olympics without a coach. So how do people reach out to you? What do you want them to do to find you? Do you want them to DM you on Instagram? Do you want them to send you a message on LinkedIn? How do you want someone to reach out to you so you know that they heard you on this podcast and they're like, I want to step out of fear. I want a new job or I want a new relationship or whatever it is. I'm not happy with the way my life is today and I'm ready to change it.
So any of those, LinkedIn, social media, Facebook, Instagram, but my website, nancypickardlifecoach.com has everything. So I have a free chapter to my book. I have a free discovery call that you just click a link. You can DM me on Instagram or Facebook. I mean, I'm open to all of those.
Yes. And everywhere you'll find her is Nancy Pickard Life Coach. So at Instagram, it's Nancy Pickard Life Coach, Facebook, Nancy Pickard Life Coach, nancypickardlifecoach.com. And of course, I have her email. So you guys can email her directly. Yes. I've got it in the podcast notes. It's right there at your fingertips. No one can complain they can't find it. All the links are there. All you do is click on it. We know that you're on your phone all day long anyway. So just click on it and you can go straight to her website and reach out to her or start following her on Instagram and DM her and let her know one thing that you learned today from the podcast. So I think that would be really powerful. And Nancy, I just want to thank you for being here. I want to remind our listeners, you're the only you that's ever been. This is a very powerful statement. And you're the only you that will ever be. That's it. This is it for you. You have this time on earth to really design the life you love, to step out of fear, to be bold, to be braver, to be better, right? Bigger, better, braver. What can you do in your life every day to be bigger, better, and braver in your relationship? To be bigger, better, and braver at work. I remember I spoke at an event and a lady walked up to me afterwards and said, I never really thought I had the power to change any of it. But since you said that, I realized I can just go change it tomorrow and I never have to live with it again.
Right.
And I was like, high five, girl, let's do it. Right. I was so happy that she walked away knowing she has the power to make that change. That's it. You have the power to make the change on yourself. We don't change other people. You need to change yourself first. So if you want the change, be the change. Step out of fear today. I love it, Nancy. Thank you for being a guest on our show. And to all of you for listening today, thank you for being with us. Thank you for making us the top 3% global podcast in the world. I love each one of you. We've been doing this for years. Thank you for sharing our podcast with your friends. And I look forward to speaking with you again next week. And until then, be you and be strong. Until then, bye-bye for now.
We hope you enjoyed our show today, as our guests shared their secrets on designing their life by taking the necessary leaps to expand their influence and attract the right people and clients into their lives. To start these easy steps for yourself, be sure to visit www.colleenbiggs.net/freebies to download the 7 ways to increase your exposure today.